and the sheriff. We need to reduce the jail population here in Tarrant County, and by doing that, we can cut those monies that are being spent to outsource that same job. Furthermore, mental health, we know that's a problem, and so we need to give the magistrates the tools that they need to send these inmates to the proper places. Some need to be in general population, others need to be in a more mental facility to take care of them. So I would definitely do that, inspect what we expect what we inspect. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen, you'll be first on this one. Democrats have long been the minority voice on the Commissioner's Court. How would you approach working with the Republican colleagues to advance your agenda?
Well, for a long time, I was the only woman on the Fort Worth City Council, and I was in the minority as a Democrat, and I got one of the most conservative members ever on the Fort Worth City Council to support the first tax increment financing district in Southeast Fort Worth along East Berry, Chuck Silcox, if you'll remember him, the late Chuck Silcox, and he stated that, and you know, we have to understand the misogyny that still exists with women in politics, but he said this girl has something going here, and for the first time ever, I'm going to vote for this TIF, and I'm going to vote for this tax abatement for Renaissance Square. So I am used to working across the aisle. I challenged Congressman Burgess when he represented this area to accept that the numbers were absolutely horrible in 76119, which is where the grocery store is in the mixed development, and he came in and really helped me on that project. I think I can do the same in 76104, where I've lived for a very long time. I now live in the Riverside area. I've long lived in this community, and I'm proud to say that. And I will work hard with anyone if they want to do the right thing for our precinct 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Everyone has their own approach to serving the community and doing what they feel is in the best interest of the constituents and residents that they represent. There will be issues where consensus can be built between both parties. And then there will be issues where consensus will not be made. But the goal is to always build consensus with your colleagues on the court. My experience working for Commissioner Brooks, I've learned how to build consensus with my colleagues who are precinct administrators to influence policy and decisions that are made for the best interest of our residents. The goal, I believe, is to do what's in the best interest of people. And how do we better the human condition? And how do we make life better for all residents in Tarrant County? I will build consensus where consensus can be built, and then on the issues that are important to the people that I represent, I will stand up and I will fight for them. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that our issues and concerns are addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, KERA.
Working with conservatives on the court, how would I handle that? Well, as a 13-year military veteran, I understand working with diverse people. 20 plus years in corporate sales, I understand working with diverse people. And so I would start as a veteran talking to conservatives. They typically respect veterans. They typically respect business people. They typically respect talking about projects and issues from a business perspective and return on investment. So that's where I would start, with building that individual relationship and starting with common ground and doing it behind closed doors so we can get to know one another. But also, when it comes to in front, because I'm a salesperson, I will have charts. I will have the facts. I will have a presentation so that the truth will be clear and what ought to be done will be clear. Just like with the jail. When you bring the media involved and you start letting all that information out, you see how they're starting to change already. So that will certainly be my tactic. I will try to befriend them, let's start a relationship, but when the rubber meets the road, I'll be out speaking front, be out front speaking. I'll bring the media involved. I will use my bullet pulpit to make a difference in this community. Thank you.
Thank you. So I really like this question because I consider myself a consensus builder, and no one is naive to the condition and the climate of the court. And so I know there's going to be challenges with there being a minority with the Democrats being on the court. But I do believe that that the media somewhat sensationalized that we're so polarized in our country and in our communities, and I truly believe that there's more that unites us than what divides us. And so I believe that we can, with building relationships and having effective communication, that we can build consensus on common sense, to come up with common sense solutions for the problems that we have in our community. Also, I always give the example as an educator. We talked about the voucher bill earlier. You know, I believe that empowerment and awareness and education for our community is also essential, and engagement, because we need you to come and tell us what your will is. I always give the example of the school voucher bill in the sense of public school is not a partisan issue either, like healthcare or the jails. And so what we did is we got the word out. We talked about what the challenges were. We told people to call their representatives. And despite the Republican representation at the Capitol, we were able to get the outcome that we wanted for our community, which is we didn't want school vouchers, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So I believe that consensus, and also I believe empowerment of the voters to come out and know where to put, to make their wills known. And also I believe that my fighting spirit and my commitment to represent the values and views of Precinct 1 will be my focus. Thank you.
Thank you. Roger, if you'll go first with this question.
All right.
This question comes from a few Tarrant County residents concerned with Tarrant County's air quality and increasing emissions from industrial development and gas-powered vehicles. Do you view the county's air quality as your responsibility, and if so, how would you address it?
Any issue or concern that disrupts the quality of life for our residents is important to me. We need to really rethink and reevaluate where we allow industries to bring businesses. They should not be bringing businesses into the community, into neighborhoods. One neighborhood, for example, is Echo Heights. They are hurt by industrial pollution, light pollution, noise pollution. People are getting sick with cancer and other diseases because of the industries that are overloading that community. We need to begin to address those things and put a cap on how many industrial parks can be in our neighborhoods and in our communities. We have to always keep the will and the needs of the residents in our community as the top priority. So yes, I do believe that that's an issue that we need to be addressing, and we need to be using our influence and our voice to address, to make sure that our residents have the things that they need and have the quality of life that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. Darrell?
Thank you. You know, political season, all the right words are said. But Echo Heights has been having this problem for more than 20 years. I remember when Prairie Dogs was on 287, that they got moved. Then the park down the way got moved. And all the industries came in. Where were the politicians been for the last 20 years? That's why it's time for a change. It's time for business as usual to be over. You need someone like me who's been around and recognizes this stuff and will call it out. So, And you have to have a balance of this to some degree, because you just can't have all industry and then people are happy, or you got all the people totally happy and no industry, no money coming in for the income taxes. So you gotta have some kind of balance, but you just can't allow pollution and kill people and low quality of life and air, etc. You just can't allow it. And again, this is what I'm saying. You have to have someone else to step up and talk about it. You have to have someone that'll call the newspaper. You have to have someone that call a press conference and be on site like you're a news reporter talking about it and bringing light to these issues. And not just wait till it's political season. So that's what I would do. Thank you.
Thank you. Neil?
Could you restate the question for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
Tarrant County has an increase in air quality and emission from industrial development and gas-powered vehicle problem. Do you view the county's air quality as your responsibility? And if so, how would you address it?
So I do believe that the county has a responsibility, and I think that's a multifaceted question, because I believe it's an opportunity for synergy. I spent the last 2 years serving on the Fort Worth Zoning Commission, and a lot of these type of cases were brought before the court. And we examined, pollution and the impact, and there was always this conversation about needing the commercial tax base and how that's going to impact the community. And so we have to consider the residents, but at the same time, we do need the tax base. But we have to be responsible about that. And the Echo Heights problem is not a new problem, but it doesn't sit in any one place. The fact that I'm being asked about the question here as a candidate for Commissioner's Court, and the fact that I was facing that issue as a zoning commissioner, so that it's an opportunity for us to be working through government, period, to make sure that we're making smart decisions. There's also an opportunity as the court to make sure that we're also being considerate of the carbon footprint that we have, the type of vehicles that we use, the type of energy that we use in those vehicles, and that we make the upgrades and the changes that we can, and examine that and plan for that. So yes, we have a responsibility. Anytime, I think my opponent said it, anytime there's an issue that's facing the community, it is an issue of the Commissioner's Court. And we have an opportunity to work with our other electeds and other resources and organizations in our community to make a positive change for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, in the 1990s, my mother fought Anderson Labs, which was right across the street from Dunbar High School. And if you lit a match in the dirt, it would catch on fire because it was so messed up. And they knew it. They absolutely knew that it was terrible for those kids. And she fought that while being a judge and a community activist. And so this has been something that has been in my life for my entire life. We have fought, and I am going to just say it, environmental racism. And it is in Louisiana, in the cancer alleys that we see. It is in Mississippi. It is in Texas. And it is a travesty. And yes, it is absolutely our responsibility to be engaged in this. Air quality is going to be the reason that we lose businesses in this community, because they're not going to come here because we do not have diversity when it comes to transportation. We know that TexRail is doing very well, that takes folks from downtown to DFW Airport, but we need more different diversity when it comes to transportation. I did not have a car, couldn't afford it the entire time I was in school in Massachusetts and England. I used to buy everything. My mother laughed at me when I asked for a car. I didn't even have a driver's license for many years. There are ways to do it. We are way behind. If we don't get it together, we're going to regret this. And it is going to affect each and every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to move on to closing statements, and I'll start with Darrell.
Thank you. Again, thank you to everyone who is here and everyone who put this on. It's a great opportunity for our community. And the last thing I want to let you know, I'm here because I believe in leadership. I believe it's time for a change in leadership, the way that we do business. One of the things that we talked about when I was in my 20s is a black agenda. But maybe today it needs to be a black and brown agenda. It needs to be a precinct 1 agenda. And I will bring all of our elected officials, the Divine Nine, nonprofit organizations together. And we will come up with priorities for our community. And I will lead that task force. And we will meet on a quarterly, on a semi-annual basis to move this process along. We will decide, we can't agree on everything, but if we come up with 10 points that we all team join in and work on a consistent basis, we can move this community forward. I'm Darrell Brewer. I'm running for Tarrant County Commissioner, Precinct 1. It's time for a change, and I want to be that change for this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mia?
My name is Dr. Mia Hall, and I am running to be your next Tarrant County Commissioner for Precinct 1. And I'm running for this position because I believe that I have the passion, I have a proven track record of experience and impact to my community. I believe that Precinct 1, I know that Commissioner Brooks has served us well. In fact, he has been the person I voted for most of my voting life, if I can be honest. But I believe that there's time for a change, and many of us have talked about that. I'm not beholden to any institutions. I don't owe anybody anything. I can't speak about my pedigree or any of those things, but what I can point to is to the service and the track record that I have. I am passionate. I have a fighting spirit. I'm honest. I mean what I say what I mean. I stand and cover every inch of ground that I stand on, and I will fight for the citizens and neighbors of Precinct 1 as I would fight for all of Tarrant County. And so I hope that you will elect me to represent you, because what you can rest assured is that your interest will be my interest, and that will be what I will fight for. Thank you.
I'm Kathleen Hicks, and I don't make promises, I deliver. And you can see the facts that I have delivered right here in Southeast Fort Worth that many people have overlooked for far too long. We have delivered the largest economic development project ever in Southeast Fort Worth that brought a quality grocery store long before Michelle Obama talked about food deserts. Economic development with jobs and quality housing that affects young people, the elderly, and all of that. I will bring that kind of can-do spirit from day one if I'm elected your county commissioner. It's time for a change. It's time to move forward and elect Kathleen Hicks as your next county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again for everyone being here tonight. Trusted leadership, demonstrated ability, addressing and tackling the issues that matter most to the residents of Precinct 1. My colleague on the platform spoke about food deserts. I've created an urban farm market project where we have 5 urban farms located in Southeast Fort Worth to address food insecurity. I was able to collaborate with my colleagues on the Fort Worth City Council to address gun violence with our youth with the 1 Second Collaborative. And I was able to ensure that those dollars went to nonprofits who are doing the work boots on the ground. I was able to fight for the JPS bond package and ensure that there was minority representation on those projects. Several minority contractors are building the Southwest Medical Home. This is the type of leadership that I will bring, demonstrated, proven, to advocate for the needs and the issues that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank all the candidates tonight for being here and sharing their views. I want to thank our members. Please sign up if you're not a subscriber of the Fort Worth Report. Go to our website, fortworthreport.org. Click on the orange donate button. I want to thank KERA, the League of Women Voters, and SteerFW for their partnership. and Texas Wesleyan for providing our space again. I want to remind everybody that the ordinance report launches next week. Look for more information on that coming soon. And now I'm going to turn it over to Candace. So, Candace up there? There you are. I was ready. All right.
All right, thank you everybody for coming out tonight, especially on behalf of the Tarrant County Democratic Party. So if you are a candidate and you did not get up and speak, can you please stand up? So that way I'll know who you are. Okay, so we're gonna start on that side. Sorry about that. And make sure you turn around and wave to people so that way the cameras can pick you up. So we're gonna start with Miss Perla. Now I never can say this right. Bajorquez, you did tell me that when I was getting you together. She is running for Texas House District 93. Woo! All right, who's next? All right, so we have Denise Wilkerson. She is running for Texas House District 94. Thank you. All right, in the back. Now, you know I don't have these courts together, so you're going to have to correct me. But we have Mark Clayton running for
Criminal District Court 2.
Thank you very much. And she had a whole bunch of petitions, let me tell you. All right, we also have Cindy Stormer, who is running for which court?
213th District Court.
213 District Court. She has the most signatures, let me tell you. All right, we also have Patrick Moses. He is a sheriff candidate. We have India Murray in the back. She is also a sheriff's candidate. We have Laura Lehman, who I've talked to pretty frequently. She is running for commissioner, county commissioner, precinct 3. And then we have John Love, who's always messing with me. He's running for U.S. House District 6.
District 6, Congressional District 6.
Congressional District 6, thank you. And then we have Ernest Lineberger. He is running for U.S. House 26, Congressional 26. I don't know if they want me to end this, but I'm going to end this. Oh, take a picture of who? Oh, okay. I'm supposed to do that? They didn't give me a script. Yeah, my camera, my phone's back there on the charger. So I guess we're going to take a picture now.
Democratic Party chair here and the president of the Fort Worth ISD. I think they deserve a little recognition.
Okay, thank you. And we also have our county chair, Crystal Gator. Thank you very much for being in the building. So I don't know where they want me to take this picture, but we're going to take a picture with all the candidates up here where the chair said we're going to be. So all the candidates come to the front. And then get the campaign staff. Come on over here to the side, because the candidates would be no one without the campaign staff. Can't forget the staff. All right, I don't know, I guess on the stage. Wherever you can get to.